is a spirit? What is something that scares you beyond belief? Is it a creature, or is it a human, or is it something from up there or down there? This is just a small story that I'm going to share this week. A story that will help you to know that there are other things beyond belief. In this video, I'm going to share that with you. So if you're not scared, carry on watching. I have had many things happen over the years, but one of them is quite weird and something that really did happen, and I'm going to share it with you because I just think sometimes people say things that they don't believe in such and such because they think it's so far and beyond that nobody's going to believe it anyway. But I'm going back to the year 2010. And my daughter lived in a flat which was quite near me, and it was a masonette and it had a very small balcony. And she'd been having some spiritual issues in that place. She had a very small baby at the time, and so it was just a very small place, but a very spooky place. And of course, being a witch, I did go in and cleanse it a few times, and I did notice the energy there wasn't right. So we just used to keep on it until she could get somewhere else to live. It was coming towards Christmas, I think, from what I can remember. And we'd been shopping and we'd come back. And the first strange thing that had happened was, as you parked the car, it was round the back of the flats, and you could see her living room and her kitchen and the balcony. And we noticed that the light was on in the kitchen. And she looked at me and she said, "That's strange." She said, "You were with me, we turned all the lights off." To which I said, "Yeah, I totally agree. I don't like that feeling." It was like something was standing there looking out the window at us, even though you couldn't see anybody there. As we got out of the car, she looked up for some reason, and I went, "What's the matter?" She said, "What is that?" And she pointed up at the sky. There was 3 round lights. Now I say round, they looked round and they were very bright, but they were very red in colour. And they were in the shape of a triangle. And they were just there, just stagnant, not moving. I looked up and I took a photo of it, which didn't show very clearly, but it did show that there was these 3 things. And she'd bought me, because I liked stargazing, guys, and she had bought me one of these, I can't think what they're called, a telescope, for Christmas. She said, "Let's unpack your present and put it out on the balcony and have a look and see what it is." So we got indoors and the light was off when we got in. It was like it was on when we looked up, and then when we got back it was off. She said, "That's not right." I went, "Right." So we got everything unpacked and then we set this telescope up, put the baby to bed, and she had a friend come round, so there was 3 of us, and we were sitting there laughing and joking. And of course she had a baby monitor, which one was in the bedroom and one was in the living room, and we started to hear this funny noise on the baby monitor. It was sort of making a high-pitched squealy noise, like what you would get if you picked up the phone and it was doing Morse code, that sort of noise, but high-pitched. And I went over to the window because I wanted to look out at the telescope, and they were there. And I looked in the telescope and one flew away really quickly, and then another one came back, or it might have been the same one. But every time one disappeared, one took its place. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it was very scary. And we could hear this noise on the baby monitor, and we could see what was outside through the telescope, and then a noise in the kitchen, a loud bang. We ran in and there was plates on the floor, just on the floor, and they wasn't broken. Well, my daughter was beside herself. So was I, and the baby started crying. We could see light coming in the window, like a torch, like lots of torches. And we thought, oh, it's the traffic outside. We tried to belittle everything that night, but we couldn't get it out of our head. And I've got to tell you guys, for the next, say, a month, there was lights in the sky. There was humming noises. And that was the next thing that happened, and it happened to me. When I came home from her one night after this had happened, I was laying in bed and I heard like a low vibration, like a humming noise. And I saw a blue light coming through the crack of my bedroom door. Now, in them days, my husband worked nights and I was on my own, and I was absolutely petrified, but calm at the same time. I was laying there and I knew I was awake because I sat up and looked at the clock, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I could hear the noise outside. It got louder and louder, and it was like a plane taking off. That sort of a noise. It was getting so loud. I thought, oh my goodness, it's going to explode. What is it? I got out of bed and I looked out the window. There was nothing out there. The blue light was still there, but I thought, you know, I'm not bothered about that. It's just a light coming from somewhere. And I opened my bedroom door and I went downstairs. I opened the street door and I went out and I looked around, and there was nothing in the sky that you could see. There was just noise, constant noise of this, like an aircraft, a jumbo jet trying to take off. And it went on for about 5-6 minutes. And then it stopped, like nothing had happened. I looked up on the computer the next day, any strange things happening around the UK, anything happening weird around the world, and I came across the site where it picked up all people that had let the authorities know, and they were all saying that they'd seen lights in the sky, that they'd heard strange noises. The trouble with this, guys, is that you get people jump on the bandwagon, and you had people making stupid videos of noises that hadn't happened. Because, to be honest, the last thing you're thinking about when you are experiencing something like this is to grab your camera and to go out and film it. So a lot of it was like laughed at, because people were going, oh, I've heard that noise before, that was on a film, like a sci-fi film or whatever. But I'm telling you now, the noise that I heard was unworldly. It seemed like a jumbo jet, but it was so loud. But also later that week, I also had that feeling again that something was in my room, that there was a blue light in the mirror and my doorway, but I felt so calm. And I don't know, because I just blanked out. People can make such stories out of things like that, and I could have made a big thing and said, oh, 2 hours went by and I don't know what happened to me. I don't know, and I never will, because that's not happened to me since. Those lights carried on in the sky for about a month, and then it all stopped. So I don't know, was it aliens or was it our imaginations? I'll leave that for you to think about. Maybe you've had experiences around the same time. Maybe you saw similar to what I did. If you did, put it in the comments below. I promise I won't laugh, because I know it happened to me. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, wherever you are. Oh, before I go, thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to those that are always here, and I will be back with a normal video for the channel. This is because it's Halloween month and I'm putting things for people that like a ghost story, like an unusual story. So if you like it, give it the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. So wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Verlang.